In this video, I want to show you how we test ads and how we guarantee Facebook ad success on a $200,000 a month ad account. And this is an ad spend. It's in the financial niche, and I want to go over 5 different pillars with you guys. So I'm going over how to write the perfect ad hooks, how to test unlimited ads, winning content types, ad localization, and AI. So let's get into it. First, it's all about the hooks. And what is a hook? It's basically the first 3 seconds of your videos, of your video or your ads. And this is the most important, very important to understand. The hook, what it basically does is stop the scroll and sell the main part of the ad. So the first 3 seconds is basically just to get them to watch the rest of the ad. And as you know, people watch about 4,000 ads every single day. So the hook is by far the most important thing. But different types of hooks. We have the labels, which is where we call out the audience. We have the yes question hooks. We have the if-then statements, and then we have the ridiculous results. And I want to give you a few examples and a few formulas on how to actually write hooks with each of these specific formulas. So the first one, labels, is attention, specific group. If you come and struggle, this is for you. And again, this is where we call out the audience. We also have a hey specific group, struggling with pain point, then keep watching. Or specific group, here's why you still, and then their frustration. And just to give you a real life example, attention real estate agents, if you're tired of chasing unqualified leads, this is for you. Very powerful hook. Also, if you run the Instagram DM funnel or Instagram follower funnel, very good kind of hook to basically filter out all the unqualified and unwarranted followers and just only talk to a specific target audience. Then we have the yes questions hook formula. This is, do you struggle with pain point, wish you could decide outcome without common frustration? Or are you tired of pain point and ready to decide outcome? Or the last one, wouldn't it be amazing if you could decide outcome without common frustration? Again, this is a hook where the audience, when watching, is saying, yes, this is me. And that's basically how you get them to watch the rest of the ad. So, do you struggle to get new clients without relying on referrals? Then, as an agency owner, you might say, yes, I am struggling with that. Then we have the if-then statements hook formula. So this is if, then that. So for example, if you want desired outcome, then you need to do specific action. If you're struggling with pain point, then you need to see this. Or if you ever wanted to decide outcome, then this is for you. And a real life example, if you're stuck at 10K a month, then you're making this critical mistake. Very good. The last one, which is also a very powerful one, which is something we use in the financial niche with this client as well, is the ridiculous result hook. So that could be, we helped client go from bad situation to incredible result in just time frame. Here's how. This is also very good for agency owners, for example, or consulting clients or coaches. It's also, I went from bad situation to amazing result in just time frame, and you can too. Or this simple thing helped client achieve insane result, and it can work for you too. Example, this coach went from 2K to 50K a month with just one simple pricing change. So that is basically the different types of hooks and how we write hooks to basically capture the attention and sell the next part of the ad, where we explain more about what action we want them to take. But as you probably know, there's not only like written hooks or spoken hooks. You can also have something called visual hooks, which is also very powerful. So these are non-verbal, and we have 3 different ones. We have the contrast, which is things that stick out and catch attention. We have the likeness, so making the audience feel like this is for me. And then we have the scene, which is visually representing the problem and solution, also a very powerful one. And for the contrast one, this could, for example, be bright colors, so a neon shirt versus a dull background. It could be movement, so a jumping person versus a still background. It could be unusual objects, so a huge stack of cash, oversized props, or a spinning sign, for example. Facial expressions, so exaggerated surprise versus natural face. Again, capturing the attention with visuals, and so not just verbal ones. Volume changes, a sudden clap or loud hey in a quiet setting. This will also catch the attention. Then we have the likeness, so again, making the audience feel like this is for me. This could, for example, be show their world, so if speaking to truckers, film a truck stop. Dress the part, a plumber in a work uniform or a lawyer in a suit. It could be use similar language, so speak like the audience, formal versus casual. Again, with a plumber, you're not speaking a formal language, but with a lawyer, you are. So very good example there. Representation matters, so use a variety of ethnicities, ages, and genders. Again, your audience might not be that specific, so make sure, especially when you ramp up the ad spend, so for example, $200,000 a month, you want different variations of different audiences. Again, this case was like we have a personal brand. The guy is very big, so we don't use different types there. We only use different types when talking about results, student interviews, and all of that. So that's why you can use it if you have, for example, a coaching business online course or consulting. Use mascots, they don't age, work 24/7, and build brand identity. You probably know a bunch of mascots, so don't have to explain that too much. The last one is the scene, again, visually representing the problem and solution. 5 different examples of what that could be is dramatize the struggle, show frustration, mess or broken item, use props to symbolize issues, a scale for weight loss, an empty calendar for no leads, so on and so forth. We can also be a highlight local landmark, so again, people recognize familiar places instantly. If you're running very local ads, so show something local so people know, this is for me. We have used transformation, so before and after shots makes results very clear. Again, be careful with this, with the meta guidelines. We also have zoom in on reaction, so show someone smiling, frustrated, or surprised. Very good. So that's all about hooks, basically. We have the verbal hooks, so that was all about the labels, what we call out the audience. It was about the yes questions, it was about the if-then statements, and it was about the ridiculous results. We also have the visual hooks, which is the non-verbal ones, which is the contrast, where things stick out and catch attention. We have the likeness, which is making the audience feel like this is for me, like he's speaking directly to me. And we also have the scene, which is visually representing the problem and solution. Extremely good. All right. To basically get more hooks and what we do with this client, because we're running in different countries, so we basically have 4 or 5 main basically countries or markets that we're targeting. And what we try to do is basically localize it for them, which again works a lot better. So for example, UK, Norway, Sweden and Italy is some very good markets for us. So we're calling out both the country, not the city in this situation. You can do, again, if you're doing more local stuff, call out the city so they know, okay, I live in this city, this is exactly for me. But we do it with country, and then we also do it with local currencies. So, and we do this in editing, and I will explain why. Again, this is because people respond better when it's familiar. So for example, in this situation, we would say, are you from the UK? Or are you from Norway? Are you from Sweden? Are you from Italy? And then we would make basically 4 or 5 different hooks with each country, and then we would put them on the body part, which I will explain in a minute. With the local currencies, we would do euro, pounds, and dollars, but in the ad, we wouldn't say it. We would just say, do you want to make an extra 1,200 a month, for example? And then in the editing, our editor would put euro, pound, or dollar on that. So again, we don't say it, but it's a visual hook. We can see, all right, it's my currency, for example. For example, in Sweden, it could be SEK as well, or Norwegian kroners. So again, just do it very localized. Again, wouldn't necessarily recommend this if you're only spending around $10K a month on the ad account. But when we come out and spend $200,000 a month, we need to do this in order to get better results and get more out of our advertising money. Perfect. This part, how to test unlimited ads. And you might be thinking, what the fuck is he talking about? I will explain. Testing unlimited ads and how we do it for our clients is that we combine hooks and we combine them with bodies. And what I mean by this is, for example, you're sitting here writing scripts and then you have to record it. You're writing one individual script, which equals to one ad. You write 5 scripts, which equals to 5 ads. And then you write 100 individual scripts and that equals to 100 ads. But that's not how we do it. What we do is that we write, if I can zoom in here, we write one hook and then we write one body and that equals to one ad. Then we will write 5 hooks, and then remember my hook formulas. We will write 5 hooks, but still we only have one body part. So the body part is basically the main part of the script where we have the call to action, we have all the explanation, we have the social proof, all of this. But this, when we have 5 hooks and one body, we have 5 ads. We can also just make one more body here. So we still have 5 hooks, we just have one more body. But now we have 10 ads because we have 5 hooks, 2 bodies. We put each hook on each body, which means we have 5 times 2, which is 10 ads. And then, for example, for this client, every time we film ads, we film around 80 to 100 ads, but we don't make individual scripts. We, for example, write 20 hooks, 30 hooks, 4 bodies, and with 20 hooks and 4 bodies, we have 80 different ads that we can test on different markets, different awareness levels, all of this, which is very, very powerful, especially when you're spending a lot of money on the ads. You want to have different variations, you want to test a lot. And again, the reason why we're testing way more hooks than bodies is because the hook is the most important part of the ad. If you have a bad hook, the rest of the ad doesn't really matter. So this is how we test unlimited ads. I hope it makes sense. I would definitely recommend all of you to try this, especially if you're spending a little bit more money on the ads, so you can just test a lot more. Then we have the winning content types, also very important when filming or spending a lot on the ads and filming a lot of ads. So the editing style. We can have high quality and heavily edited, so we use motion graphics, B-roll, and music. We can also test ads, or we also test ads on raw, authentic videos. So this will just be handheld videos plus subtitles, of course, because most people watch without sound. So very important, always use subtitles. But what works the best in this situation for our client, it's actually the high quality, heavily edited ones where we have motion graphics, B-roll, music, all of this. We do with our retargeting ads, do it more personally. We also just have some interviews, student results, all of this, which is less edited. It's just some subtitles and then the interview. But for the top of funnel, we more or less use the high quality and heavily edited stuff. But for other clients, it's the more personal, handheld stuff that works the best. So again, test, test, test. That's how you find out what works the best for your kind of situation, your client, or your brand. Very good. Then we came to the last one here, which is AI. And you might be thinking, all right, everybody's talking about AI, but how do we use it and how do we use it for this kind of client? And how we tried it was that we tried dubbing our client's voice into other languages. So again, right now we're just speaking English, but as I mentioned, we had the Italian market, we had the Swedish, Norwegian, we had the English market. But what we tried was that Germany is a very big market, so we wanted to basically come into this market and dominate. But what we did was that we made specific landing pages just for the German market. We had a German translator translate it all, build it for the German market. And then since our client had a really big personal brand, we still wanted to use him. So we tried using, you might have heard of this, but HeyGen, the HeyGen platform. My client filmed the video in English and we would then upload it to HeyGen here and then we would translate it into German. So it could both translate the language, but it could also like move the lips so it made sense. But AI, it's came a long way, but it's still not far enough for this specific, or it didn't really work. And we tried it quite a lot with a lot of ad spend as well. But basically why it didn't work was it sounded robotic, low trust and low performance. And you might be thinking, sounded robotic, what a surprise. I think as well. But yeah, that's basically why it didn't work. So we stopped that and we get back to just using the English language and his own voice. But a very interesting test as well. Definitely something we're going to test as well continuously as AI is getting better for every month there is. So definitely not the last time we're testing this. But yeah, this was all for this video. I hope you got a lot of value from it. That's basically how we test ads on a very big ad account for all of our clients. Really just testing a lot, and the main part here is the hooks, and it is the bodies, and basically the editing as well. What content types work for your specific client, for your specific market. That's very important to test. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.